Okay, welcome guys. Welcome guys to my talking about how languages are learned. Today I'm making a brief review of chapter number 1 from the book called How Languages Are Learned by Lightbound and Spada and Factores Escolares e Individuales en el Aprendizaje Formal de Idioma Extranjero by Carmen Muñoz. Okay, super. So, firstly, I would like to start by telling you how or what this text is about. This chapter states to look briefly at the language development of young children. It considers several theories offered as explanations for how the language is learned. However, this exercise of independent judgment made me focus on two different questions that I will be answering during this short speech in order to not fall into long extension on this chapter and the other book, Factores Escolares. The questions are, why is language such a controversial issue? And an issue in the first language and the second language learning. And the second question is to describe the overall key stages in first language acquisition, but I will expose 5 different stages or steps. And finally, I will be finishing this speech with some questions for you to reflect on. Okay, the first, what is the such a controversial issue? Well, the first one is from the book Factores Escolares by Carmen Muñoz. She expressed her ideas by saying that the first language at before is to express to you some terminology. And the first one is, what does L1 mean? Because probably you have no idea. L1 means the mother tongue or the mother language. For example, in Colombia, the language that many people speak the most is Spanish. So it would be our mother tongue. The second language, or L2, is the language that the child or any person in their surrounding is exposed and they are forced to speak as well. For example, in some indigenous communities, like the Creole, like in other countries, let's say the Chibcha, well, you see. And finally, FL means the language that is not spoken or written or exposed with high frequency in the country, but other places is spoken, for example, English, French, Italian, German, well, in Colombia, here in Colombia. And also 3 ideologies, but the one that I will be focusing on this speech is in the first one, the behaviorist perspective by Skinner. So now, I was telling you that Carmen Muñoz is posing in her book that there are not enough studies to show if age is a really important issue when learning a second language. As well, some studies show that some teenagers after puberty perform better English than the guys who started since really young, but that's not like most of the cases, some specific cases. So this is controversial as well. A third, something that I really agree with Oyama and Scoville, and of course the author of the book How Languages Are Learned, Lightbound and Spada, let's say that some study indicate the number of words that a guy should be saying at a specific time, but everybody knows that the minds are different in every person. Not many kids learn in the same way as probably the studies expect. And finally, something that again Lightbound and Spada quoted from Snow in 1983 is that the studies only talk about what the kids are learning instead of how they are learning. So you see, so for that reason, I'm going to provide you an example or case scenario, and at the same way, I'm answering the second question that I was about to answer. Uh, the question, the one from the different steps in first language acquisition, and I highlighted the word first because this case is especially, and you will see why. The case is is this woman, this kid you're watching on screen. Her name is Isabella. She's my daughter, but her first language, or her mother tongue, I say that is the first language because Carmen Muñoz mentioned in her book that it's called mother tongue because they are able to distinguish the voice of their mothers even before they are born. So that's why that I say mother tongue, no, but okay, it's Spanish. And Isabella Diaz the girl uses the 70% more or less of her knowledge to communicate in Spanish. The rest, the 30%, is in English, and there's a controversial issue here that I'm not sure if English is her second language or it's just a foreign language she's learning. But I need you to help me to discover that. Something important about her family is that only her father, so it's me, speaks English, and maybe her grandma on the father's side speaks English, but she knows only little words, not too much. And something important as well from How Languages Are Learned book is that Asher and Garcia concluded that you need at least 5 years after the first contact with the second language to start seeing the results. Yes, I know that Isabella is 4 years, but well, I want to continue with this and giving you my results. The first step or the first stage they take is called imitation and practice. This is like 30 or 40% of the sentences children say are just imitations. This is the example of my case. When I told Isabela, Isabela, vamos a ir al jardín. Isabela, jugaste con tus amigos. Isabela, vamos a comprar helado. She just imitated immediately just after I said something like that. And she said, ir jardín, amor, amigos, jugaste, comprar helado. That's the first step they make, you know. And the English side, it was the same. I need your help, and she repeated, need help. I feel hungry, and she said, hungry? I want some orange juice, and she said, juice. So as you see, those are not complete sentences, just a couple of words that she imitated. But probably many people are asking in this moment, what's the difference between a parrot who imitates and repeats words and a human, a kid? The difference is basically this one, no? Children choose one to imitate. They select the words they want to imitate. And I have this example here. I remember that Isabella once said, papi, quiero almuerzo. And I didn't understand what was that word, quiero almuerzo. And actually, just give me a second. I shared to you the audio, how she pronounced the word. Oh, excuse me. This is the word. Listen, please. Papi, quiero almuerzo. Papi, quiero almuerzo. Okay, just once again. Quiero almuerzo. At the beginning, I didn't understand what was that word. Papi. Papi, quiero de almuerzo strawberry. No entendía. So one day, she held my hand, took me to the kitchen, opened the door, the fridge door, and showed me the word she wanted. Nah, and she wanted a strawberry. Quiero almuerzo strawberry. So she was repeating the word that she probably heard before from me, but now with a specific purpose. So you see, in order to be understood. Another example she mentioned once was los gatos saben jump. Papi, los gatos saben jump. Probably she didn't remember the verb saltar, but if she felt comfortable because she was imitating the word that I repeated a lot of times because I was giving to her some commands when she was really young, and she used it in the sentence. So you see, and that's the third stage that children take. Focus on meaning. Yeah, I realized that sometimes the children um, face when they are making mistakes, and this is the example that I'm gonna give to you. I remember that we were making the bed one day, and she was helping me as always, and she told me, "Papi, pásame el pillow," así, lo mismo Spanglish, "Pásame el pillow," and I passed to her las almohadas, ¿no? Le pasé las almohadas. Y decía, no, the pillows. Y yo, okay, pero estoy pasando las almohadas. Y ella, no, pillows. And then she realized that she was making a mistake. She meant blankets, no pillows. So she just changed her mind. It was like, no, excuse me, blankets, no pillows. So you see? So she's focusing on the meaning of the word pillow. Pillow is not every part of a bed when you're making the bed. No, every part has a different meaning. The same with the word foot. One day, a friend of mine told or asked my daughter for what was her favorite food. What was her favorite food? And she just raised her foot up and showed the foot. And my friend just laughed and she got a little bit angry. And she was like, what? And then she realized that it doesn't make sense to say, what is your favorite food? Okay, el pie izquierdo, el pie derecho. No, so she said, okay, food. Food is comida, okay, food. And she said the strawberries because she loves the strawberries, guys. And another, it's patterns in language. This is really crucial because they make different patterns in, let's say, in the grammar to start making sentences. She was playing with her grandfather, so it means my father, soccer, and my daughter told him, pásame el ball, pásame el ball. And my father told her, no se dice ball, se dice pelota. And she was, yes, but ball is in English. And I was really shocked this day, surprised, like, wow, creó un patrón que sabe que ball es en otro idioma. No se supone que los niños que han crecido así no diferencian si es Spanish o en English, pero ella dijo eso en English. So I realized that she was making sentences depending on the context. And for that reason, I have a video here in which she was filming herself. And this is real. I was not with her and I was not paying attention. Maybe I was next to her, but I didn't pay attention. And check the patterns she's using. Okay, give me a second. Okay, let's pay attention. I think that we cannot hear, right? Okay, give me a second and I just fix it. Just fix it, give me a moment. Okay, so let's listen. I think it's here. Okay, I think that is kind of difficult to understand. But I'm going to tell you what she said. The patterns she used to make these sentences, no, because she sounded okay, thank you. I had I was facing some technical problems, so here I am. Yes, so the patterns she was using were from the last video, querido Santa. She was using quiero un regalo de bombero. Quiero un regalo de bombero. ¿Qué quiere decir ella cuando dice quiero un regalo de bombero? Entonces ella encontró que regalo es un obsequio, bombero es lo que quiere, ¿no? Entonces hizo un patrón, ¿ok? Darte uno galleta, todavía no diferencia muy bien entre feminine, masculine en Spanish. Leche, bueno, ella supo que leche es parte de lo que va a dar con las galletas. And finally, she repeated at the end, para tomarlo y comerlo, para tomarlo y comerlo, Santa. Para tomarlo y comerlo, ¿qué? Ella sabe que las galletas y la leche se comen, se toman. But she's not using like in a specific order. This is what Lightbound and Spada called pattern. Okay. Super. Okay. So, and finally, the last step they take when they are children is the use of the language, but in a creatively way. Yeah. So she already made the connection of patterns, but now she is making more, let's say, complete sentences. Yeah. For example, open. She knows that open is abrir. The door es puerta, bedroom, habitación. Please, por favor. She says, open the door, bedroom, please. Something like really close, no? But let's pay attention now to this video. I'm not sure you can listen to it. But if not, okay, in the speaker mode. But again, yeah, we have to escape. And this is the video, guys. So you see the mix of the languages. I need your help, papi. Help, Ben, Ben. And she shows and she makes this movement on her head. No, because she's using the language creatively. It's not only speaking, but also, let's say, no verbal communication, no? Like the movement of the hand. And finally, guys, I want to finish this speech with some questions that I want you to reflect on. I would like to just give me a comment here below and tell me the answers. Yeah, remember, there are not wrong or right answers. There are only opinions and criteria that you probably have about this video. And the first question is, according to this speech, guys, do you think the first language, the second language, and the foreign language learning work in the same way in childhood? What do you think? What do you remember I just mentioned here in this talk? And the second question is, what do you think Isabella's English is? Do you think that Isabella speaks English as a first language, second language, or as a foreign language? Remember that I have talked to her in English since her mother was pregnant, but obviously it's not like very frequently to speak in English with Isabella, because she listens to me speaking in Spanish when I'm with the other family members, at home. What do you think, guys? That's the plus. And an extra, do you have a similar case? Let me know. I want to know. I want to learn from your experience in order to make Isabella become a real bilingual kid, Spanish, English. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching. See you in another opportunity. Have a nice day. Bye. Okay, I have not finished yet. Okay, see you now.